Hey there, Gospelizers. Wanted to take a few minutes and go over these survey responses. There are 72 or 3 of you have answered the survey, and I appreciate that so much. Been very affirming, very encouraging, and very informative, and I appreciate that very much. And I want to kind of go through these for you. I'm warning you, it's going to take a few minutes, so you're going to have to just endure this for a little while. If you need to go make a sandwich and pause this and come back, then that'll be okay too. But know this, I don't know who said what on these. I just get the answers. So, okay? How many concerts would you love to see CRM host? It shows that we were pretty much right in what you were thinking. Almost half of you said 4 concerts a year. 22% said 3. Nearly 30% of you said 5 or more. So you want more. So I appreciate that, and that tells us that we're pretty well in the ballpark there. What type of Southern Gospel groups do you prefer to see in person? The choices were male quartets, male trios, family groups, or I like them all. And 78% of you said, I like them all. So that's a pretty good deal there. I asked you to list some groups either that we have or that we don't have that you would like to see in person. And I'll show you, the list is quite long. There were 61 different artists named. 61. That's a lot. Of those, the top 10 that got the most votes, no surprise on some of these, okay? Greater Vision was named on 22 of those. Triumphant was named on 19. Thought that was interesting. Booth Brothers on 17. Mark Trammell Quartet, 17. Signature Sound, 16. Collingsworth Family, 12. Hoppers, 12. Wisnants, 11. McCamey's, 10. Perry's, 10. So that is a pretty good indicator for me that you like the groups that we're bringing in, and there's some of the others that you would like to see us look into. Some of these that we've had, like Booth Brothers, we've had in the past. McCamey's, we haven't had, but Cedar Valley has had. And then the Perrys that we've had in the past, and then some others that we haven't had before, like Triumphant and Collingsworth. I thought that was interesting, so thanks for that. If you have a question about where the particular group that you asked for fell in this, you just respond to this email and I'll tell you. Okay? I'm not gonna. I'll tell you. It's no big deal. Okay? My favorite thing about CRM is, and I'm not even going to go through all these because some of you were so. 71 of you responded, and you just were so encouraging. You talked about the friendliness. You talked about the great music. You talked about the worship atmosphere, just different things. And so thank you for affirming the approach that we've tried to take. If I could change one thing about CRM, it would be, and I'm going to hit a couple of these because I think they deserve some explanation. Several of you said change the location. Some of you said change it to Waco, change it to Fort Worth, change it to, and understand we're going to be in Temple. That's it. We started when we were living in Temple 29 years ago, and James and Wanda are still there. And so if we don't have them in Temple, that area, there won't be any CRM. So that's just it, So I would encourage you, to encourage some others to help out in that. But I appreciate the comments about the auditoriums. Here's the funny thing. Some of you said, oh, put them all at the CAC and none at the college. Some of you said, oh, put them all at the college, none at the CAC. So it's interesting how people's response is to that. So let me address that for just a minute. We do have things that we enjoy about the CAC. We have things that we enjoy about the college, and there are different factors in that. And we have things that we enjoy about the church auditoriums. The truth is, the churches are not very welcoming overall to us to coming in from the outside and bringing in this music. They're just not, for whatever reason, they're just not. And I understand that. They're entitled to make those decisions. But I know several of you commented on the construction issue at the CAC. Hey, I hear you. Listen, I understand. It's one of those things we have to deal with. But in that area, there are just not very many auditoriums that seat more than a couple of hundred people that are publicly available that we can afford, that that are good. And the college and the CAC are, we think, two of the best. There's some other auditoriums that are out there that are not available to the public. So if you got any suggestions, we'll certainly hear those. And we've tried the church route, and we're doing one at the Taylors Valley Baptist Church this year. Let me address a couple of the other things. Some variety of gospel, some bluegrass added, was someone said. There are different reasons why we bring the groups in, the artists that we do. Some of it is style. Some of it is connections that we have. Some of it is groups that are up and coming, different things. And so bluegrass, I like bluegrass, but it's just not the overall uh, love of the people that come to our concerts. And so, I understand that. I appreciate you sharing that. One person said this: love Greater Vision, but they're a bit overexposed coming every year. Appreciate that. They've been with us every year. It's kind of a tradition. They're also our most popular group that we have. We sell more tickets for that concert than any other we do. And if you'll notice on the list that I shared, they've got the most votes. So I appreciate that, but we're going to continue to have Greater Vision for those reasons I shared. Here's another thing I wanted to address. Great suggestions, all of these. Have concerts on Saturdays instead of Fridays. I heard that a couple of times. And let me explain that to you. I pastor a church out of town. I'm in Palestine, Texas. And so Friday nights are the only nights that really work for me. We'll do a Saturday once in a while, but you can understand how difficult it makes me living 2.5 hours away now, closer than I have been in a long time. But it's just difficult on me to get back for Sunday and to be fresh in the pulpit. And some of these things are having to do with scheduling. The groups don't come to Texas all the time, and so it's just a matter of routing. One suggestion said, have them once a quarter, more spaced out. I appreciate that too. That's what we'd love to do, but I have to work it out in several factors: my wife's schedule, the group's travel schedule, availability, all those different kinds of things. So we have to work with those things. We can't afford to pay the top dollar all the time, so we have to, or any of the time. So we have to kind of work with what's available there. So, but Fridays are going to be our main day. The second part of that is we've had concerts on Saturdays over the years, and they just haven't been as well attended. We've had some of our worst attended concerts on Saturday nights. And so I know that changes over time. And so anyway, for the foreseeable future, Friday is going to be our primary day, and I hope you can understand that why. And some of you suggested about expanding, going to Waco or going to Fort Worth or Dallas or different places, and it's just not practical for us to do that because James and Wanda's home base there is in Temple. We've had this history there, and I'm not interested in expanding anymore. I'm really doing more than I can at this point, pastoring a church full time, out of town, and all that kind of stuff, and I'm getting older, and it just doesn't come as easy as it used to. So the CRM stuff is a totally volunteer thing for us. We don't get paid for this. There's not enough money coming in for us to get paid. So anyway, that's just kind of the word it is. So I hope that you can understand that, and I hope that makes some sense to you. I asked about the pricing of the tickets. Was it fair? Was it the choices were fair, too steep for my blood, or other? Most of you, even that answered the other, which there was 9 people that answered that, made comments around the same kind of thing. Here's one: fair, but we're getting at the top end of what the current audience will be able to pay. I know it's a fine line, and that's exactly right. That is a very true statement. We're very sensitive to that. I wish the price could go away. I wish we could just do love offerings, but we can't. As it is, I'm scared to tell you how far behind we are for this next concert, and it's difficult. We do sign contracts for these events. The groups have a certain amount that we contract with them to pay them based upon their budgets, and because this is what they do full time. And we have auditorium expenses to pay, publicity, our website, all those different things have to come out of that. And so that's why we've had to go up on the prices. We've tried to hold it down as best we can. Most of you said the price is fair. Some of you even said, hey, it's cheap compared to what we see in other places. So I understand that, but 85% of you said the prices are fair. I asked, have you liked the CRM Facebook page? I'm interested to see. I don't get a lot of interaction on that, so I don't know how many people are really reading those posts, and I'm not real good about getting them out there as good as I should be. I'm trying to get better at that. 61% of you said, yes, I've liked it. 21% of you said, no, I haven't, and then 17% said, I don't do Facebook. So that's about what I expected. So thank you for that, and I'll try to do better about getting those things out there. But it's just hard for me. I only work on this stuff usually on the weekends, and like the last couple of weeks with being around Easter, I haven't really done any at all. I've been so busy. So if I could suggest anything to CRM about how to make the concerts better, it would be, and I thought this was very informative. 2 people said maybe some sort of VIP time before the concert, private deal with the group, that you could pay an extra fee and have a little time, maybe a little autograph session, time to talk to the groups. in some do that, and for different situations that might work, and it may be something that we can do at some point with certain groups in the future. Don't make people stand outside. They should be allowed in as they arrive. And I wanted to address that because that's a valid statement. We set a time for the doors to open for two reasons. First of all, it allows the group all the time that they need to get set up. They like to do all their sound checks and everything without anybody in the auditorium, so that they can be comfortable and do what they need to do and get everything right, because they don't want anything to be wrong with the sound and all the presentation before people see that. That's one reason. The second reason is, since we have half of our seats are general admission, for me to say you can come in anytime you want, we'll have people coming in at 2 and 3 and 4 o'clock and sitting there, and it's not fair to the people that come in at 6 or 6:30. So we set a time for the doors to be open, typically an hour ahead. If the crowd is just thundering and it's just unsafe, we'll try to fudge on that a little bit, but we try to be very careful about that, because I want it to be fair for everyone. And I understand that makes it difficult sometimes, but if people want that certain seat and they know that the doors are open at a certain time, they know that they can get there about that time, and it's just fair to everyone. Here again, Friday concerts versus Saturdays, different groups, offer a deal for season tickets. I've had that suggested before, and I appreciate that as well. The problem with that is, because the way our budget is structured, it really works best if we work on a concert-to-concert basis. Also because I'm the only one doing the tickets and all that different kind of stuff, and I just don't have the time to put into a process for that. It just doesn't work. So maybe that's something we can look at in the future. I've even looked at possibly getting iTickets or one of those other companies to handle the tickets, but I know part of that deal is the personal contact. I don't want to lose that. So that's part of what has made us who we are. A couple suggested a little earlier start on Friday concerts. That's something I'm definitely going to consider. We started at 7:30 on Thursday or Friday nights ever since we started. The reason for that was because people working and people coming from out of town that are working still have time to get. We have a good amount of our people that come from Austin, Round Rock, Georgetown. Another big group of our people come from Waco or even north. So to give them time to get here, but I appreciate that's a pretty late hour to get out. So I understand that. So we may look at that a little bit, have it a little bit earlier. As I get older, I like earlier things too. So I understand. Here's one: sending some email flyers to some individuals so we could copy and post in our various churches. Well, let me tell you, there is whenever we're getting ready for a concert, there's always a link to the flyer for that concert in the email. There's one in this email. If you will scroll down, always on our website, you can get a flyer. They're always available. So if you need me to email you one, then you need to tell me that, and I'll be glad to send you one direct, but you can download it from right here anytime. Okay? So those are available, and we do appreciate you spreading the word. How far do you typically travel for CRM concerts? And I thought this was incredibly interesting. The choices were less than 25 miles, between 25 and 50 miles, between 50 and 100 miles, and more than 100 miles. And it was almost equal across the board. 24% less than 25 miles, 31%, which is the biggest one, between 25 and 50 miles. That goes from, say, Pflugerville, Round Rock-ish, Waco, Temple. Between 50 and 100 miles, also Killeen, Copperas Cove. Between 50 and 100 miles, that's 20%. And then 25% of you go more than 100 miles to come see us and come see this great music. So thank you for doing that. And then the last question: if you could improve how CRM delivers information to you, and that was specifically about emails and Facebook posts, that kind of thing. The choices were more emails, less emails, more Facebook posts, and then an opportunity for you just to make a response. And everybody that responded said, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. So I appreciated that. But 14 of you, 25% of you said more emails. Bless your heart that you'd like to see more of this. And a couple of you, two of you said less emails. I'm on your camp, okay? More Facebook posts, that was 19% said that. Facebook event invites, that was a suggestion. I've done a little bit of that, haven't done a lot of that. More emails as well as Facebook. Like Facebook posts because that can be shared. Hey, that's good stuff too. Appreciate all of these responses. I know this is a long post, over 15 minutes now, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to share that with you. We need your help. Concert is Friday, April 13th. Friday, April 13th, Signature Sound. We've got almost 200 seats left. Need your help. We need to sell this thing out. We got a couple of church groups that have had issues come up that normally come and can't be there. So we need you to help us pick up the slack if you possibly can, or if you'd be willing to be a sponsor, or if you'd be willing to help us with a donation, or whatever the case may be. We would really appreciate that. This is our one of our biggest ticket events that we do, and so we really need your help with that. We're contracted for a certain amount of money, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Thank you for all your support, for all your encouragement, and thank you for enduring this. If you've been listening to all of this, kudos to you. Be blessed. Keep on gospelizing.